My name is Sydney Rosenblum, and I am the Executive Director of the University of Michigan Young Science Innovators, or U-MYScI. I am from Davis, California, and I did my undergrad at Scripps College in Claremont, California, with a Bachelor of Arts in Biochemistry. And I'm now a third-year graduate student at the University of Michigan in the program in chemical biology. And my research interests include RNA biology, specifically microRNA.
Hey, I'm Christa. I'm originally from Connecticut. I did my undergrad at Vassar College in upstate New York, where I majored in biology. After I graduated, I spent a couple years working as a postdoc at the NIH doing research. And right now I am about to be a second-year grad student at University of Michigan in the Human Genetics Department, and I'm studying type 2 diabetes and genomics.
Awesome. My name is Jonathan from Ann Arbor. Went to U of M, been in Ann Arbor all my life. I majored in cellular molecular biology, the honors program at U of M, and hopefully I'll also be a PhD student one day studying something in immunology.
Hello everyone, my name is Nada. I'm from Dearborn, Michigan, and I'm a senior studying biochemistry right now, and I also hope to get my MD soon, which I'm applying to. And I am a senior, or going to be a senior soon, and some of the research that I've done is on neurobiology, specifically neurodevelopment.
Awesome. Okay, so the first question we're going to address is what are some examples of careers in STEM? What are some various industries? And so I will kick it off. The traditional careers that you think about when you think of STEM are like professor, you work in biotech, or you're an engineer or a doctor. But in addition to that, there are a lot of kind of more non-traditional career paths that include consulting. You can do a business degree in addition to science and get into more the business side of science. There's patent law that you can get involved with or without a law degree. And there are a lot of opportunities to pursue your own interests in STEM in a more entrepreneurial setting. For example, in Ann Arbor, a couple of graduate students many years back started their own business called Backyard Brains that is focused on developing kind of at-home science kits for kids to explore neuroscience in a pretty accessible way. So there are a lot of things that you can do besides just doing bench research or being a teacher or a professor.
Yeah, to add to that, you can kind of take a STEM degree and add it to really any other interest that you have. Like you mentioned, business and law. And you could also go into the science policy. So you're working with politicians and figuring out more regulations for scientists rather than doing the bench work and things like that. And it's a lot more flexible than you might think if you have a degree in STEM, and it gives you a really good basis in thinking about scientific concepts and things like that. So don't be too scared of it because you think you're signing up for research or for being a doctor the rest of your life.
Right, exactly. There's many, many, many things you can do with a science degree that doesn't just involve science. Okay, the second question is, what mentorship opportunities were available to you, or did you seek out other opportunities as an undergraduate or a graduate student?
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so throughout high school, I didn't really have a mentor, which I didn't like, and I wanted to change that when I went to undergrad. So I knew this pre-med mentor, because that's kind of like, although I'm doing biochemistry, that's also like another focus of mine, and he helped me a lot through the process. So if I would recommend, if you know somebody that's like in college, you could reach out to us that knows a little bit about what you want to do and has done it before, then I would recommend reaching out to them, because a lot of people are really open to helping others. And I'm very glad I did that, like in undergrad, even though I did it in high school. Like, I saw the difference in how many more things I knew about, how much more I was prepared before applying and things like that.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that reaching out to people is probably the best way of getting insights into any field you want to go into. Mentorship, a lot of people who have gone through miscellaneous career paths love mentoring. They love talking about what they do. So I would never feel scared just to reach out to some people that are in an area they're interested in and seek opportunities through that way as well. I think at the university level, it's a little bit easier because, those people could be your professors, they could be your peers doing something that you're interested in. And there's a lot of faculty there at the university, which is a really big bonus of going to college, figuring out what you want to do. It is common. I have some friends myself who have also decided to forego college to figure out their interests, but a lot of people actually also come into college not knowing exactly what their interests are, and navigating that process itself. People have found lots of opportunities they wouldn't have otherwise, especially at the University of Michigan and Michigan State, I know of personally. So being really open-minded and asking questions to just people around you is probably the best way of getting started.
Definitely.
Don't be shy like me in high school.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is how do you navigate the essay process and college admissions?
Okay, so best thing I could say is to start early. And although, most of your essays are probably going to be about what you've done in college or in high school and things like that. And I don't know where you guys are in the process right now, but remember that everything that you intend to do or you want to do in high school, don't do it just for an application. Do it because you actually enjoy doing it. Because when you talk about it, all that passion exudes in your writing. And when it does come time to when you have to write about it, start early, write everything you can, just a draft of all the words that you can think of, and then just slowly start to cut it down. And then somewhere in that process, before you get to the final draft, reach out to somebody to read it for you, somebody who has a good idea of what you want to write about and won't change it too much because you still want it to be your own voice. I remember in high school, like a lot of people would ask other people to write their essays or things like that. I don't know if people still do that, but try to be as genuine as you can in your writing. Talk about what you're actually interested in, and don't try to tell them what they want to hear. Actually talk about who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, I think that was excellent advice. I'd pretty much say the exact same thing. I think I would really like to emphasize some things that Nada just said. Having someone else read it, I think, is very important. Or even asking your friends sometimes for feedback, because sometimes, they're able to see things in you that, you may not even have thought of. And something just to keep in mind overall that Nada did mention, I just want to emphasize again, is that you're really just trying to convey something about you that's not present in your application. They're going to see your CV or your resume. You're going to most likely upload that to the Common App or send it to school in some way, shape, or form, or talk about them in your activities. They're going to see all the amazing accomplishments that you've done in high school, both in and out of the classroom. But this is kind of the opportunity to give them the why, or what about you is actually being put into those activities. And what Nada was saying about not doing things just for your resume, doing things you're actually passionate about, well, that's a great way of being able to talk about them and being able to express those components of you. So this is kind of your time to be introspective and think about who are you, what type of person are you trying to convey, and how have your experiences shaped you. So an essay that focuses more on that as opposed to just hitting your resume over and over again, which is a classic thing that a lot of people do. I know I started off doing that, talking about each of my activities, and then I had to scrap the whole thing and rewrite it. And I think that the latter was much more successful. So that's my advice.
Yeah, and I think Amber also asks a question about like why our school. And I remember at the time, since I didn't really know much and I couldn't, like, Ann Arbor wasn't accessible to me at that point, I had to do a lot of research to show them why I want to go to their school. So whatever school you're applying to, make sure, like, it won't hurt to like boast about them a little bit in your essay. So just look for those few things that you want to add.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and the final question is, what should you think about when choosing a major or applying to a specific major in college? And while we talked about kind of beginning with a career in mind, we talked about what sorts of things you can do with STEM. But I think it's important to choose a major based on the classes that you find most interesting, not necessarily the ones that will get you to the career, because I went into both undergrad and graduate school thinking I wanted one thing, and I changed my mind quite a bit throughout the process. But that was because I chose classes that I was very interested in and that excited me. And so my advice is to look at class listings, what classes are required for each major. There are some kind of nuances between, the different STEM degrees, but for the most part, you should be able to figure out which you find most interesting, and definitely reach out to folks who have been in those majors or have friends who have been, to see what it's like at whatever school you're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're unsure, try to find schools and programs that don't require you to have made a decision about what you're going to major in yet. Because I know personally for me, I basically knew that I wanted to study biology, but I still wanted to kind of explore different areas. So I made sure to pick a school where I didn't have to pick my major until I was a sophomore, I think. And also realize that whatever you pick as a major doesn't lock you into a career yet. It really just determines what you're going to study in college. So, for example, I took 2 years off and did research at the NIH. And while I was there, most people were science majors, but not all of them. A lot of people majored in the humanities, and then after that decided that they wanted to go into science. And they took a couple years off to build up their resume and get that research experience so then they could get a job in the sciences and things like that. So it's a lot more flexible than you might think, and this is a really great time to explore all your different interests in, since you won't get that point at other parts in your life.
Yeah, it's completely understandable not to know what you want to do yet. You're still very young. From all of us, we wish you very much luck in your endeavors in applying to college.